Will Smith en a fait du chemin. Rappeur à ses débuts, il séduit vite le petit écran et envahit l'univers du cinéma.
How you feeling, baby?
Véritable roi des grosses sorties de l'été,
Do I look like a Marine?
cet homme a l'envergure d'un acteur oscarisé.
Yeah!
Il jongle avec brio entre les rôles de père et de mari attentionné, de musiciens de talent et d'immenses stars planétaires.
You know, I'm just happy to be here.
Willard Christopher Smith Jr. est né le 26 septembre 1968 à Philadelphie, en Pennsylvanie. Il est le deuxième des 4 enfants de William et Caroline Smith, ingénieurs thermiques et employés de l'éducation nationale.
During his school days in West Philadelphia, Will Smith was reportedly quite the charmer. He would use his sense of humor and his wit and his personality to get out of doing homework and to keep himself out of trouble. In fact, his teachers gave him the nickname Prince Charming, and that later evolved into his rap name, The Fresh Prince.
When my first girlfriend cheated on me, I connected that in my mind that she cheated on me because I wasn't good enough. And I remember at 15 years old making a vow that I would never not be good enough again. That there would never be a single day in my life where I wasn't good enough. I live that way now.
Will Smith est un étudiant très doué. Dès le lycée, il assiste aux cours avancés de la prestigieuse école Julia Reynolds Masterman. Il est ensuite accepté dans le cursus ingénieur du MIT, mais sa passion, c'est la scène.
From that point, hijinks ensue.
Today, Will Smith is primarily known as a big movie star, but his initial success in the business was actually in the music industry. He met a DJ named Jeff Towns at a party, and they soon started performing together under the name DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. In 1992, Will Smith married an actress named Cherie Zamponi. They would eventually divorce 3 years later, but they did have a child together, Willard Christopher Smith III, also known as Trey. By his early 20s, Will Smith had made a lot of money in the music business. He'd also spent a lot of money in the music business on cars and jewelry and houses, and he was on the verge of bankruptcy, and what turned it all around was when he landed the NBC sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. When you're working on a sitcom week after week, you meet a lot of different people that come in for different parts, and somebody that Will Smith met when he was making The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was an actress named Jada Pinkett, who would come to play a very important role in his life later on.
You know, when you're having a good time, good things happen. You know what I'm talking about?
Looking back, Will Smith describes his experience on the sitcom The Fresh Prince as an amazing sort of boot camp as an actor. He said he really wanted to do a good job, so he learned everyone's lines and would kind of mouth them as they were mouthing them. He kind of cringes when he watches them now, but he said as an actor it was great experience.
C'est en 1993, après des années de télévision, que Will fait ses premiers pas au cinéma grâce à l'actrice Whoopi Goldberg. Le film Made in America marque ses débuts au cinéma.
It was the easiest, most incredible time I would ever have imagined to have. Whoopi always made sure that the set was fun and easy and everybody enjoyed themselves. So it was, I'm happy to have done my first thing with her.
I'm so proud of him, you know, because people, exceptional, because people don't realize what a talent, not to me.
But Whoopi,
I'm sorry.
see, she's so truthful.
No, you're cute. Have you asked him about his movie that he's doing now? 6 Degrees?
6 degrees.
Separation.
In the movie 6 Degrees of Separation, there's a scene where Will Smith's character kisses another man, played by Anthony Michael Hall, and at the time he refused to film the kiss. They sort of cheated it with camera angles, and he explained that Denzel Washington had actually told him that it would hurt his career. Years later, he said that he regretted that decision, that he was thinking of his friends back at home and what they would think, and he was being immature, and that the lesson he took from it was, if you're going to do something, do it all the way.
For me, it's a great opportunity to kind of get into their heads, and what's interesting about this piece is different people get different things out of it.
For 3 months solid, while he was still doing his TV show, with a dialect coach and an acting coach, and when he came to rehearsal 6 weeks before we started shooting, he knew every line.
It's all of those, the misconceptions, and it's the stereotypes that people put in their mind, and it's just It's how people look at something and it may not necessarily be what they think it is.
Different technique he's had to learn, and a subtler technique, and then going within himself and a real pulling on deeper acting resources. But he went through quite a program to help bring that about, and he's got fabulous instincts, so he's got a lot of natural charm.
It was the biggest gamble. A rapper decides he wants to play a gay con man in a movie. You know, those audiences don't have too much crossover, you know.
En 1995, la magie opère entre Will Smith et Martin Lawrence, les rois de l'action et du rire. Le nom de ce duo explosif? Les Bad Boys d'Hollywood.
I'm Mike Lowry. All right, we're gonna get you in trouble. Mike Lowry is kind of the smooth playboy.
You're not supposed to be back here?
His family left him a lot of money.
Yeah, Mike, we're trying to go, but this camera crew is back here. We're having trouble getting in our marks.
I'm not really a cop because I have to be. I chose to be a cop. I like the excitement. I like the fun of it.
Everybody gonna be happy because that's what we do. This is my outfit. That's what we do.
There's a lot of me in Mike Lowry. I'm not as smooth as he is. I've never been, you know, my humor is the way I've always won women. But this guy is like slick.
Martin and Will, the thing that's great about them and what's very different that the audiences are going to be very surprised with.
Michael Bay's our director. He's good.
These guys can be funny, all right, but they can also have a real edge and a realism to them, you know, and that's where their strengths are.
Will came in and met with Martin and myself and Don and the hierarchy at Columbia, and they fell in love with these guys. I mean, they're just hysterical together. In a room, they just dominate the room.
As long as we live, it's you and me, baby, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, we're moving on up. To the bad boy side. That's what I'm saying.
One of the things that was ingrained in Will Smith when he was growing up was his dad always told him there's no such thing as luck, that it's about hard work and perseverance and discipline. When Independence Day opened at #1 and was a huge hit, Will got a call from his father, and his dad said, Will, do you remember when I told you that there's no such thing as luck? Well, that's bull, because you're the luckiest blankety blank I've ever met.
It's about aliens taking over the world, but they run into the United States Marine Corps, namely Captain Stephen Hiller, that's played by me. He's a regular guy, you know, like, which is always the kind of characters I like to play. Just a regular guy that is thrust into really irregular situations.
Wait a minute, we gotta find some cigars.
This is a classic, big budget Hollywood picture. The level of the special effects in this film, I mean, huge. Huge. You have no clue. It's huge. Hey, Mark. You know, we basically saved the world, all in a day's work.
Après la pub, on vous révèle tout sur Will Smith, depuis sa grosse erreur de carrière jusqu'à son surnom de luxe.
Like many people in his generation, Will Smith was absolutely knocked out when he saw the movie Star Wars. And he once said that one of his goals as an actor is to make people feel the way he felt when he saw Star Wars for the first time.
The Men in Black, anytime an alien makes themselves known, the Men in Black have to go and basically clean up the mess.
He's funny. I mean, he's very funny, and when he gets on a roll, he energizes the set. Jay is NYPD. I'm a detective. You know, I kind of take my job really seriously. I stay in shape.
Get down!
He's a really good cop.
and has a good head on his shoulders.
2, 3.
And this impresses the men in black who are looking for a replacement.
Will Smith is the Deion Sanders of MIB agents. He's flashy. He hates wearing the black suit.
Barry's the best director I've ever worked with.
Did you try to struggle? What?
Tommy and I are basically around to make Will seem funnier, because he's really funny, and we make him seem even funnier.
The movie opens up with my pursuit. Whoa! Men in Black, get it?
Will and Jada got married in 1997, and they have 2 children together, a daughter, Willow, and a son, Jaden. And Jaden looks to be following in his dad's footsteps because he was acting alongside his father in the movie The Pursuit of Happyness.
Dad, where are we going?
I don't know.
Enemy of the State was another hit for Will Smith, kind of a fun conspiracy thriller. It also gave us Will in his underwear, and he said that was really him. He refused to use a stunt butt because he said that his bottom has a very special curvature and that the audience would know if it was fake. He said that they would feel emotionally insulted. In the late 90s, Will Smith was offered the movie The Matrix, and he turned it down. Keanu Reeves ended up playing the part, and instead he decided to make the movie Wild Wild West. And the movie was a hit. It did fine at the box office, but it was savaged by the critics. And Will later said that it bothered him in his heart to know that he was in a #1 movie that just wasn't very good.
En l'an 2000, et à la surprise générale, Will accepte un second rôle qui va déclencher la polémique, celui d'un caddie dans le film La légende de Bagger Vance.
It's always tough with you know, these kinds of period pieces, because black folks hate them Yazanosa movies. You know, black folks just hate its skin crawls. You know, but Bagger Vance, I read the script, and it's a film where the majority of the cast is white and the one black dude is God. You know, so I was like, all right. I think Spike might be cool with that. You know, he might be all right with that element.
Will Smith resisted playing the part of Muhammad Ali for years. They had approached him about it.
He was an actor himself, you know, so how can you out Ali? I
think his daughters had seen the first season of The Fresh Prince. I think it was May who said, "Daddy, this is the dude. That he's dumb just like you."
He called me and he said that he thought that I was the guy for the role, and his daughters had hipped him to me.
After some coaxing from the director Michael Mann, and he also spoke to Ali's family, he decided to take the plunge.
Essentially, my whole day was laid out as Muhammad Ali University.
Having Ali on the set of Ali was it was perfection, you know, because you play a moment. If it doesn't feel right, you say, "How's that, champ?"
Michael Mann laid out the approach, and he said the approach would initially be physical. Concentrate on the physical. Run the way Muhammad Ali ran. Eat the way Muhammad Ali ate. Spar the way that he sparred. Jump rope the way he jumped rope. And learn all of those things, and that everything else will come from the comprehension of his physical life. Michael Mann is a very, very thorough director.
Will Smith packed on 35 pounds of muscle to play Muhammad Ali, and there was an interesting side effect in his personal life with these intense training sessions. He said it was like human Viagra. He called it Will-agra, and he also described himself as a sex machine, and he also said that his wife Jada didn't mind it so much.
I'm very confident that I'm about to shake up the world.
And it worked out great. He got his first Oscar nomination for the part.
I'm calling it the afterlife, but with this whole, 5 and 6 different award shows and different people vote, and then, the potential of being nominated for an Oscar, it's a whole new world for me. How people talk to me is different. When you have an Oscar nominee before your name, people just, there's a whole different attitude. I just want to be able to move back and forth as much as possible. Being able to go from Ali to Men in Black 2 is something that's rare, and I'm enjoying being able to make that kind of move. You know what? It's one of those things. I'm coming out of Ali, and it's almost like it was so far away from who I was. So back to MIB 2 was almost like coming home, a family reunion, someplace I felt comfortable doing comedy. It's tough, because you're pretending as an alien, and there's a dude with a long metal stick with a tennis ball on the end of it, and he's going,
no, that's my song that they're playing over and over again. So I think that, you know, that my album's out, the music's great, everything in my life is spectabulous right now.
Will soon got kind of a nickname in Hollywood. He was known as Mr. 4th of July because every July 4th weekend, every year, he would have a big monster hit like Men in Black or Independence Day.
The action, comedies, special effects, those films lend themselves to this time of year, and that 4th of July weekend has historically been the big time Hollywood weekend, so now we call it Big Willie Weekend in Hollywood circles.
Oh, well, you know, I'm trying. I'm rumbling. You know, I had my Independence Day and Men in Black back to back, but now people are coming for me, so I got to go back and claim my throne. Yeah, there was other things going on July 4th this year. I figured I'd let the young boy have his shot, you know, on the 4th of July, you know, because I was doing some other stuff anyway. Yeah, you just get the hell out of the way of Spider-Man. Yeah, you know.
Will Smith n'a peur de rien, et surtout pas de rempiler. Après Men in Black 2, il tente l'aventure Bad Boy 2.
The best part of working with Will is that, you know what I mean, I got a partner that I know that I can depend on and that would deliver. You know what I mean? He's a good person. He's a consummate professional. He's talented. What more can you ask for?
The chemistry was great, so I was concerned would it still be there 8 years later, but as soon as we hit the ground, it was right there. It was beautiful.
Le plus gros film de science-fiction de Will Smith? Le partenaire si cher à son cœur? Réponse tout de suite après la pub.
Into it.
iRobot allowed Will Smith the opportunity to combine two of his passions, science fiction and motorcycles.
One of those things attacked me, that red light was on.
It's definitely the most special effects work I've ever been involved with.
Obviously he was in a great situation and he was a joy to work with just on every level, but certainly with visual effects is because he'd sort of done it before and he kind of, when I asked him to do crazy stuff, he kind of understood why, you know.
I've done some big special effects movies, and this one is far beyond anything that I've ever done. As an actor, it's very rare that you're able to act in an action movie. This film is the first time in my career where I feel that I've walked a line that I've been searching for a long time, where it's the big summer movie, you know, and it has the robots and explosions and all of that, but at the center of the story is a real character. For me, it's interesting to play a troubled character because I've been so successful playing, you know, happy-go-lucky guys that save the world.
There's no beating Will Smith because he's funny, he's cute, he's sexy, he's athletic, he's everything you want in an action star.
So prepared, so full of tons of energy. He's just a great guy.
He's an overachiever. I can't stand him. He's perfect in every single way, shape, and form.
Hey, look how slick he looks. He looks like a pro. He looks like a player with that hat on, doesn't he?
Hey, what's going on? Where am I going? Where am I going, Stan?
He looks good. Yeah, he's a good guy.
He definitely makes Hollywood a better place. I know that.
You know, I kept saying to Will, one day I'm going to find out about something that you don't do well, because he actually does everything well. It's kind of scary.
The movie The Pursuit of Happyness was a bit of a departure for Will Smith. It was a more understated character. He was actually playing a real-life person, and he co-starred with his son Jaden in the movie.
Having my son and being able to do the scenes, to be able to lay in a subway bathroom with my real son just added to the ability to be able to transform.
I just thought it was a great heirloom to have for our family and a wonderful thing to have for Jaden, to see the relationship that he has with his father on film. So when Will is gone, he has that piece of film, that piece of work that he did with his dad. That's forever.
We had a fantastic relationship, and I learned a lot from him. I do believe that Will in this movie is magnificent.
I definitely couldn't connect to the depth of being broke on the street with your child. that was something that I had to reach for.
And it all came together great because he ended up getting his second Oscar nomination.
There's been a very interesting thing happening with the Pursuit of Happyness. Ideas that I had in my house growing up that my grandmother tried to instill, a person that I want to be. It feels like something's gelling. I can't completely articulate what it is, but I feel like people understand me for more today than ever in my life.
Yes, sir. I'm just calling to thank you very much for your support.
In the movie I Am Legend, Will Smith is virtually alone through most of the movie. All he has is a trusty canine co-star named Abby. Well, Will and the dog got so chummy during the filming that once it was over, Will actually tried to adopt the dog, but Abby's trainer just couldn't be persuaded to part with her.
The worst thing that any of us could experience, Robert Neville has experienced it. And to take that and to place that in the middle of a multi-genre film was extremely exciting to me.
A lot of people would just take to this role and brood. And it might be interesting, but it would be very shallow. And what's fantastic about Will is that he has such a warmth to him and such a charisma to him that even when he does that, it has so many layers.
It's just a beautiful exercise to not be able to talk, to have to figure out how to communicate things without talking, to have to search for behavior. And when you have to sell it in behavior, you have to truly understand it.
Although he has a dog, he's not chatting to the dog throughout the course of the movie. It's a real performance where his emotions are conveyed through expression and behavior.
It's beautiful. It's the center of what acting is.
Will knows how to create from within him an inability to give up, because I think Will as a man is unable to give up. And so the idea that Neville can lose everything and still get up each day seems to make sense when it's left to Will to show us.
Oh, that was great. Up on the aircraft carrier, and there's nothing that tops standing up on top of the Intrepid with a golf club. And I love golf too, so that's a big one.
Le golf, Will aime ça.
He also has a really brilliant sort of analytical mind, and one of his favorite games is not a video game. He actually loves to play chess. In 2008, Will Smith came out with a movie, Hancock, and it was a summer blockbuster, but it was also a little different, a little edgier. His character was kind of a drunk, and it kind of had an arch sense of humor, but audiences still ate it up.
John Hancock, he's an interesting fella. He has experienced quite a trauma, but he doesn't remember, which is a bit of a dilemma. Every day that he wakes up, he's mad at people, and you know, he feels like he's a superhero and he should be getting applause, but nobody wants to clap. So if they don't want to clap, forget it. I don't need them to.
Will is one of those few movie stars who possess a real confluence of skills. He's fearless, he's talented, and he's extremely honest.
Hancock could really just get himself together, just see the vision, see who he is, see what he can represent, that there's a real possibility to change the world.
And that year, Will ended up being the #1 earner in Hollywood with $80 million.
Will, Jada et leurs enfants vivent actuellement sur les collines surplombant Los Angeles dans une gigantesque propriété de 20 millions de dollars conçue et dessinée par Will. La famille passe également du temps dans leur résidence de Miami située sur la prestigieuse Star Island. Leurs voisins ne sont autres que Shaquille O'Neal, Elizabeth Taylor ou encore P. Diddy.
It's beautiful. Wow.
L'Oscar lui a échappé, mais Will a reçu d'autres distinctions comme le privilège de poser ses empreintes devant le Grauman's Chinese Theater. L'ancien rappeur de Philadelphie a aussi reçu le Modern Master au Festival du film de Santa Barbara.
Modern Master, I'm like, that's cool. I guess they didn't see Wild Wild West.
C'est son ami Tom Cruise qui présentait la cérémonie ce soir-là.
He knows what it takes to reach us. So I gotta tell you, Will, you know, that is both the mark of artistic greatness And it's why it is an honor for me to be here tonight to present the Modern Master Award.
I wake up every day and the first thought that crosses my mind is how can I do good today? How can I be a better husband? How can I be a better father? How can I be a better artist? How can I make certain that somebody's life is going to be better because I woke up today? I'm here tonight to renew my undying commitment to make the world better every single day, and I will do that until I'm dead.